Hey guys, I'm Sabrina. Hi, why am I doing a peace sign? Hey, I'm Sabrina, and for today's video, and hopefully every video moving forward, I just wanted to start documenting and sharing valuable lessons that I learned from my life, as well as things that, I don't know, just happen. I've decided to document more of my life because documenting my life makes it feel a little bit more fulfilling in the sense that I forget so much about my life. Like, I don't know if it's an ADHD thing, but memories fade so easily from my mind, and I end up only remembering the really bad and the really, really good, and sometimes not even the really good and just the bad. And as you can imagine, that makes life start feeling like pretty depressing in the sense of 4 months will go by and you'll look back and not even really remember what you did. And so I'm doing this as a way to preserve my memories, to preserve my life and my age, because I'll never be this version of myself that I am today ever again. So, yeah. So let's start with this last Tuesday. Okay, before I start talking, if you guys could please subscribe to my channel, that would just help me and encourage me to make more content, to be honest, and I would really appreciate it. So stop right now, stop what you're doing, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Today is Thursday, but this last Tuesday was big for me. Throughout my life, I have had really bad anxiety. It became a significant problem that I noticed after I came home from my mission early, and while I was on my mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. While I was out there, I developed a physical anxiety, pain in my chest, and was sent home because it was getting so bad to the point where I was having panic attacks every night. And when I came back home, it was like I couldn't even talk to people. So it definitely, in whatever way, triggered something within me. And since then, I don't know if it's something I've always had. I'd like to think so, but since then, I've just known that that's something that I have, and it gets in the way of me doing a lot of the things that I wish I could do. Jobs, talking in front of people, making videos like this. Yeah, it feels like a poison sometimes, but I've been practicing breathing exercises, mindful meditation. I've been doing that every single night because there was a long time where I would go to sleep at 6 a.m. every night just by laying in bed. And I wouldn't even have my phone. My thoughts would be racing so much so that I wouldn't be able to fall asleep. And yeah, and that's just anxiety for you. So I started doing the guided meditations, and those have helped me so much. I think after doing that every night, you kind of start learning the skills on how to relax your body. So I've been going to group therapy at my school, and I learned that if you do your meditations continuously and consistently, then over time you can conquer your anxiety. And I was baffled by that. I thought that anxiety was something that you can never fix, right? So I've been really trying to make sure I meditate not only at night but throughout the day and take the deep breaths that I need to. Anyways, getting back to my story, on Tuesday, it was the first time that I was able to stand up for myself and kind of express my thoughts on something that was important to me without shaking, without feeling like I couldn't form the words, without feeling like my heartbeat was beating too fast, that my hands were sweaty. I was just able to speak, and I didn't feel that feeling that I would have felt my whole life if I were to do something like that. And yeah, I don't even know how this got brought into conversation, but basically I said that I think this is a bold opinion to put on the internet, but I said that I think women sexualize women and we sexualize ourselves, but that is because society has told us that we are to be sexualized, if that makes sense. And I use the word society. I didn't point just men, but looking at it objectively, it has been mostly men that have cause this objectification of women. And if you look that up, that is factual. It's not just my opinion, it is fact. Predominantly, males are the reason why women have been sexualized, so much so. And that is in the way that they view women, right? It's just different, the brain makeup. So I was talking about that, and he just kept arguing that women were equally at fault. And while I admit that some women do objectify themselves freely without any other influence, of course, it's not equal. And so that was kind of triggering to me because it's not. And he made some claims such as, women do this for attention. And that made me angry. And he also said, well, who took the bite of the apple? Was it Adam or Eve? And that was, I told him to his face, I said, that is extremely offensive and disrespectful, especially because he was a returned missionary for the church. I'm no longer really I don't really consider myself a part of a church, just a follower of Christ. And I was just kind of shocked that he threw that as a way to kind of, I don't know what he was trying to get out of that. If he was trying to say that women are to blame for the sins of men, I don't agree with that at all. And I think that's just disrespectful. So I got pretty upset when he said that. And I said, I'm not talking about this anymore with you. And so I was also proud of myself in that moment because I set my boundary. I said, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Can we get back to work? And they continued to talk about it. And I said, I told you not to talk about it. You're still talking about it. So I'm going to go get up and I'm going to join a different group. So I did that. And I was proud of myself. But what sucks is immediately feeling like, was I being dramatic? And I think that's something I've always held on to growing up was, am I being too sensitive? Am I in the wrong? No matter what the situation is, I'll find a way to blame myself. I'll find a way to be like, I didn't do things exactly right. And it sucks living like that. And I don't know. I just immediately felt stupid. And today I had class again, the same class, and I literally couldn't go because I started overthinking. If I sit in the front, they're going to be looking at me. They'll be able to talk about me. If I sit behind them, I'll be able to see how they're responding, and that will give me anxiety. It's like I don't want to see them, but I don't want them to see me, and that's when my avoidant tendencies kick in, and I just want to run away and never go back. And I start reflecting a lot about, I've always been blamed for things growing up. Always. No matter what the conflict is, it somehow points back to me. And I think that's because I'm someone who takes responsibility for my own actions. And sometimes I take responsibility for things that I don't think I should. And I think I self-analyze too much to the point where I will always question my decisions, my thoughts, my thinking patterns, and find a way to feel like I need to apologize. So when I'm someone who's always apologizing for things, it sucks because sometimes I need an apology, you know? But that's the way that I've been conditioned to fix things, is to apologize. So that's just a thought that's been through my head. And so even though I had no anxiety saying that to the boy and getting up and walking away, it's like then the anxiety came up later. And so I'm trying to deal with that right now. This year has been just crazy. It's not that it's been bad, but like so many random things have happened that just suck. My husband was in between jobs and I didn't have a job. I've been just doing school and some side work, like I do photography, and there was a time where like we didn't have enough money for food, and that's still, will get better. He just started his job, so we're okay now, but it was hard trying to figure out like how are we gonna pay for our place, how are we gonna pay for our food, and so that was hard. And then my dog died, and my childhood dog that I grew up with died, but I feel really blessed because she almost died 2 years ago, and I took her into the vet and they performed surgery on her, and they told me that her blood wasn't clotting when they tested. I don't know how it works, but her blood wasn't clotting, so they said that the chances of her surviving the surgery like were really, really low. So on that day when she went to surgery, I was convinced that it wasn't going to be successful, and I sobbed. I mourned her. I genuinely feel like I mourned her death that day versus the day that she actually died. I'm still kind of in denial about it, but I'm grateful because when I saw my dog and that she was okay, I was so glad, and I thanked Jesus because I was praying for that, and it just felt like a miracle. It felt like I was so lucky to have her, and we had her for 2 more years after that. And so losing her was hard, but I feel like I already was waiting for it to happen. I didn't think she'd live another 2 years, so I'm grateful for that. But I haven't been back to the house since she has passed away, so it will definitely be a whole new grieving process once I get there and she's not there anymore. But it's okay. Yeah. But things are okay, and I try to be positive. I try to find the positive in every situation. I wrote a poem the other day kind of about how it was feeling when my dog died, and it's really short, so nothing crazy. Everyone is dying, and I feel now, more than ever, the weight of those words. Timestamps are pressed on their foreheads. I cannot see them, but I know they are there. A sense of urgency grows out of my skin as I try to grasp what is fading away. Each moment more suffocates me. If only I could make time stop and hold him in a world where the time I have left with him isn't growing any smaller. If only I could take everyone's hand and guarantee that they won't go anywhere. If only I could have a single guarantee without the anxiety of what ifs raining down on me. So there's that. And those thoughts always come to me at like 2 a.m. So, but on a happier note, I started watching Lord of the Rings for the first time, and that's been really cool. Every time I tried watching it when I was like 14, I would fall asleep as soon as they started traveling. Like, I think I tried watching it 3 different times and I fell asleep at the same parts. It's not that it's boring, it's just, it's such a peaceful movie. It puts you to sleep, you know? And as I rewatched it, I genuinely did not remember a single part out of the movie except for them traveling and like the hills behind them. That's all I remember. And maybe that was from the trailer, bro. I don't know. Okay, until next time, thank you for listening. If you listened this far, that means a lot. But again, these are mostly for myself, so yeah. But if you do want to support me, please follow me. Not follow me. You can follow me on my other social media, but subscribe to my YouTube, give this video a thumbs up, and comment if any of this related to you, if you struggle with anxiety, or maybe comment a time that you stood up for yourself. Okay, bye guys.